Hello everyone, this is Darth Vader's castle, and as far as I know, in the US at least, it is an Amazon and LEGO stores exclusive. It's presented here as a Rogue One era set, based on scenes that we saw in that movie, but it also received, the location received some additional lore from the Marvel Darth Vader comics. The castle itself presents pretty well, I would say, as a display item. It has good visual presence in a room. I'd say its size is almost exactly what I expected based on the official photographs of it and also the size of the box. It's a little over 16 inches tall, or about 24 centimeters, and fortunately it's not complete only around the front, but also around both sides, so you get pretty good consistency as viewed from many angles and not just that one key camera-friendly angle. You can see that both sides have pretty equal coverage. You do get some cutaway to the lower level, which would be below ground technically, or below the strata, I think it would be called, the rock surface. But then as you come around the back, then that is open to allow you to get in there and get some play value and set up some figures. So let me put some figures in there now. Up top is a defense turret that is on a ball joint, so a figure can be manning that. You can see it's just a stud shooter. I guess I'll take this guy out of the way for the moment, but you're able to actually fire down at potentially approaching infantry from the front, and this is one single sticker over this large circular piece, which is a little bit difficult to line up just properly. This is also intended to be the meeting space though, so you would be able to, or you might want to, bring Darth Vader up here with Director Krennic. Director Krennic is not included in this set though. The next level down has the all-important meditation chamber, so I put Vader in his full suit there, and this does come down pretty nicely. I'm a little bit disappointed that you don't get more of an interlocking kind of interlocking fingers kind of look here, but for the given space, it does have kind of the right shape and the right presence, and there's a little bit of red window work behind there, so you can get a little bit of extra sinister lighting. He's got a little pedestal for his lightsaber hilt there, and there's a holo projector which does come with the trans light blue Emperor Palpatine, or it can represent whoever you want it to be. The next level down features Vader's personal Bacta tank, and there is a Bacta tank version of Vader in this set, so that's a separate figure. You'll see those in the minifig selection when I get to focusing on those, but it's nice that they do have two complete versions. You don't have to do any swapping. Really nice work with the trans red windows in the back. Even if you don't have a lot of light coming through there, it still brings that glow, and you can see a little bit of it reflecting off the sides as well, off the pieces that make up some of the walls and the entryway there. There's a fair amount of space to pose figures around inside of there, but again, to really see in there, you need to take some of those out. The doorway uses just a little bit of attempt at forced perspective to start to show that there's a hallway behind it. There's a small little monitoring and operation console there, just a small piece, but all of this comes out very easily as just one sub-assembly, and it's hinged on the top, again, as they did with the last one for the small Hoth set, so it's very easy to get a figure in and out of this. That's very good design. And this is intended to be kind of the ground level, so this is where the minifigure entrance would be, at least as presented in this set. So you see the door frame there, which has the nice shaping to it. You can see a little bit of gapping around the edge, but from most angles it presents pretty well. And then down at the very bottom, this would be inside of the cliff face, inside of or behind the lava fall. You've got the stairs that come down to the lower level. This is intended to be sort of a munitions room, so there's some sort of control unit here, but also a couple racks of studs, the trans-red studs, to use in stud shooters, which are used on the point defense cannon up top, and also on a vehicle that you're going to see in just a minute. This is a nice little secret area over here where you can store a bleeding kyber crystal is what that is intended to represent. I like how it gets hidden away there. It's just a technique that I haven't seen before. I'm going to skip the center real quick for just a minute because I want to get to the other side. This is intended to be an ancient Sith shrine with a couple of statues on either side and a single Sith holocron there in the center, which is done in a trans pink, not trans red, with a dark red single 1x1 plate piece down below. Very nice stickers here. Looks very menacing, and I think that's pretty proper with the use of the nanofigs on the sides as well. Those are the Dementors, or the black versions of what was originally Emperor Palpatine. And there's another little storage space over here. That's another lightsaber hilt, and I personally just don't know the history behind that one. I don't know whose that's supposed to be. And this is an elite Imperial mouse droid or something like it. Alright, so this center space, it's Darth Vader's personal garage for his TIE Advanced. I'll show you that by itself in just a minute as well. Deserves its own time. But inside of there, there's just enough space for the ship, which is cool. I think it's shaped up nicely. A little bit open and hollow on the sides, but that could make sense, at least to the right, to be just a continuation of that bay. But then I think it should have been closed up over on this side, at least between these two pillars right here. I do recommend that as just a little modification if you have a handful of pieces. It's nice to have the door here to get in from the side. Lastly, I kind of passed this quickly early on, so I just wanted to come back and show it a little bit more closely. It's a nice lava fall that just refracts light a lot down at the base and also up at the top. It's a nice little build to get some different visual effects. Vader's fighter here is a completely new build that takes advantage of the existence of some relatively new pieces relative to previous attempts at this same design. It's small, but it's just large enough to fit a figure inside of it. It's comparable in size to the one that they did for the Death Star. This is just the most recent version of that. They did a different version for the original Death Star UCS model, but the sizes are very comparable. And on the new one, they've got some upside down building just as it closes up right now. You can't see into the canopy area, unfortunately. That's completely covered up, but I don't think it looks all that bad with the tint on here and the black outlining. I think it provides enough darkness there that it kind of fools the eye well enough, and you can open that up and just slide a figure in there. It has, again, just enough room, but it is enough room, so that's really all I can ask for. And it's a sturdy enough build, and has the nice rounding around the back, so I think this is done pretty nicely. They also have the small clip for Vader's lightsaber. At least the hilt there, I guess you could put the whole thing on there if you want. And this does have two stud shooters, so that's the other place where you want to have the extra shots to refill. Here are this set's versions of Darth Vader up close with, I think, very good detailing for the fully suited up version on the left, although that modern version of helmet, multi-piece helmet, always does make it look like he's looking up a little bit. It has his head tilted back, but it's a pretty accurate mold for a Lego minifig, and I think the prints on the front of that figure look pretty good. I think I might be a little bit more impressed with the printing work done for the back-to-tank version. There's a lot of variety there. The opacity for the skin tone on the legs is a little bit lacking, and sure, we would love to get like triple molding for that to get it to have the skin tone going all the way around, but the metallic silver color is supposed to represent the robotic prostheses that he has, and just the hands are dark gray. He has the black Bane mask for the breathing apparatus, matching scars on the back of the head, which is appropriate as seen on this version here. No print on the back of this torso to be seen, but very different facial expressions here. The back-to-tank version having the eyes closed, and you can see that there are a bunch of subtle details that were changed in the face. They didn't just change the eyes themselves. The Royal Guards are identical, as they should be, and these have the most modern versions of the printing for their torsos. They have black heads underneath, so you're actually seeing the minifig head pieces through the slits for the visors, like so. Now let's just see a little bit more of the print for the torso, and these capes are double-sided with the dark red facing towards the front and the regular red towards the back. And there's no print to be seen on the back of the torso, which I think is perfectly fine. And then they've got their, what are these, vibro staffs? Or is it vibro staves? Lastly, this is an Imperial transport pilot, basically a shuttle pilot, taxi driver for folks coming and going to visit Vader. I like the inclusion of this figure. Personally, I find it intriguing. I don't know the canonical specifics behind it, haven't done the research into it, but just looking at it, there are a number of interesting things. First of all, the Rogue One era helmet there has on it that very steep mouth, the steep angle to the mouth area, which kind of throws back to the clone trooper armor, phase 2, phase 1 even more so, in my opinion. So just, little nod to the past, it feels like. And then with the blue, I'm assuming that this is supposed to be somebody from the 501st. It's one of Vader's own, which totally would make sense to go here. Again, I haven't actually looked this up. I haven't actually researched it, but it's what makes sense to me. And if I'm right, cool. If I'm not, well, I still want to imagine it to be, because, again, it makes sense to me. And within that, it kind of makes sense for this to actually be an angry clone. For once, a trooper in the post-Clone Wars era who absolutely, I believe, should be angry clone. This actually seems just right to me, so I like everything about this. Und das ist das. A pretty nice set, I think. It presents well on display. I think it has good play value, play potential with good use of space, a respectable selection of figures to be sure. And I really love this style of scaling of vehicles and craft from Lego, where they make them as small as they can be to still fully hold at least one minifigure operator, more if need be, but not sizing things up to be necessarily realistic minifig scale. Just keep it nice and compact, but make it look like it should be. Have all of the major components that you want to see there. Make it swishable, make sure the figure fits in there, holds an accessory as well. I think that's nicely done. Only sticking point on this for me, you can totally see this coming. I'm sure by now I'm well into broken record territory on this. The price, I do feel, is a bit high. Again, like I said, broken record territory. I will say that I feel, relative to other sets that have been released over the past few years that are in this price range, this does sit pretty well because of what all it comes with and how usable the space is and how good it looks on display. I feel like it does give good value relative to other things, but that's, again, relative to kind of the current status quo of everything. Well, most things on average being overpriced, in my opinion, from Lego. I would love to see this priced at $110 US. It's a good deal above that. If the price comes down, excellent. Regardless, if you like what you see in this set, I think that you will like it in person, and I think this is something that's going to have some good staying power. Even though it's not from the original trilogy, I feel like this set should be able to remain respectable to younger kids, teens, and adults alike for some time to come. That's it for my thoughts, though. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments down below, and I'll catch you later.